I'll paraphrase this military story while preserving its meaning and tone. Colonel Marcus Thorne positioned his hands at his waist, his perfectly pressed uniform standing out against Fort Sheridan's brutal summer weather, and declared he needed the woman to vacate the premises since this was an operational vehicle depot, not a destination for relatives of service members. The atmosphere carried scents of fuel, heated machinery, and old brew, while mechanics in stained work clothes paused their tasks to observe the confrontation. The female visitor standing beside the military vehicle remained stationary, dressed in non-military attire consisting of dark pants and a deep blue shirt, her fair hair secured in a functional style. She acknowledged the restricted nature of the location while explaining her purpose was to examine preparedness documentation for the logistics unit numbered 7. Thorne responded with disbelieving amusement, questioning her authority to request classified materials and asking about her connection to the base through marriage. Amy Harrington displayed her temporary access credential without emotional response while identifying herself and mentioning her scheduled visit. The colonel dismissed the credential's significance, suggesting she had misunderstood the situation and should proceed to the services facility for military families. Harrington clarified she required vehicle maintenance records for specific units, including requisition paperwork and deadline status reports spanning 3 months. Not shopping. Privileges her detailed knowledge frustrated Thorne, who declared the discussion concluded and instructed a subordinate to remove her from the area. Harrington maintained eye contact while recommending he verify his scheduled appointments, noting that headquarters had informed him of an inspection from the Joint Staff 14 days prior with her identification included. The colonel's complexion reddened as he denied any oversight of his briefing documents, insisting he knew the inspection, personnel roster, and ordered her immediate removal once more. The lieutenant approached hesitantly and asked her to comply. Harrington retrieved her official credentials while asking the officer about standard protocol when encountering unverifiable authority claims. The lieutenant acknowledged that requesting identification was proper procedure. After scanning her card, the computer displayed an access rejection message indicating insufficient clearance level for the reader. The lieutenant informed his superior that verification failed due to inadequate system authorization. Thorne interpreted this as validation that she held a civilian contractor credential with no value in this setting. Harrington calmly explained the badge wasn't invalid. Rather, his equipment lacked appropriate clearance to process it. The colonel announced he would waste no additional time, declaring her presence now constituted unauthorized access and threatening detention by military law enforcement if she refused departure. Harrington produced a substantial bronze medallion, which caught Thorne's attention and prompted his mocking question about museum keepsakes and false veteran status as Harrington held the coin. Her mind transported her to a helicopter where a special operations colonel had given it to her with words of eternal gratitude for rescuing his team members. Observing from a distance, the senior enlisted leader recognized her identity, the major from the Afghan theater who had rescued numerous soldiers from his unit, and experienced alarm upon seeing the coin. He immediately contacted the commanding general's assistant. The sergeant major reported that a colonel was preparing to arrest a female civilian named Harrington, expressing concern that the officer might be threatening a general officer unknowingly. Complete quiet followed and an aide rushed into the general's workspace to report Colonel Thorne's detention of a civilian woman. The general responded with irritation, indicating Thorne should manage the situation independently. The captain clarified that the sergeant major believed the woman was General Amy Harrington. The commanding general leaned in with focused attention, ordering immediate verification through the VIP arrival records. The documentation confirmed her identity, rank, purpose for an unscheduled evaluation, and direct accountability to headquarters command. The general seized his headgear and ordered immediate transportation while emphasizing urgency. Meanwhile, the lieutenant contacted security about an uncooperative civilian. In a restricted zone, Harrington offered one final warning about conflict resolution. Thorne responded with harsh laughter, demanding she be charged with unauthorized presence and investigated for falsely claiming federal official status. Then the sound of rapidly approaching leadership vehicles interrupted. 2 dark SUVs halted abruptly as the commanding general exited with furious expression, marching directly to render Harrington a crisp salute. He welcomed General Harrington officially while expressing personal regret for the discourteous and shameful treatment she encountered. The rank designation hit with devastating force as Thorne's expression collapsed and color drained from his face. The general announced her identity to everyone present, detailing her elite qualifications, combat decoration for bravery, and assignment from the highest military leadership. While noting the colonel had created a memorable negative introduction that he enumerated Thorne's failures, neglecting standard confirmation protocols, allowing prejudice and arrogance to interfere with official orders, making assumptions based on gender regarding spouse status, assuming confusion, assuming dishonesty, but never assuming military status. Harrington addressed the group, noting that insignia displays rank but conduct reveals character, emphasizing the importance of universal verification and procedural adherence over instinct for maintaining order. Thorne lost his command position immediately, and Harrington encountered him weeks afterward at the base shopping center in civilian attire, appearing diminished and contrite. Harrington acknowledged his expression of regret while noting that everyone possesses prejudices, emphasizing that the critical factor is response after awareness of such biases.